What's up guys, Mike here, the Detroit Borg with a look at iOS 10 on the iPhone and the iPad. So iOS 10 is in beta process right now, and I'll keep you updated with all the beta releases as they roll out this year, so things will change as we progress toward fall when this is finally released. Now this is launching on all the devices you see on your screen right now, which now excludes the iPhone 4S, the iPod Touch 5th generation, and the iPad 2nd and 3rd generation. So one of the new features with iOS 10 is Raise to Wake. This is on the iPhone. So basically, if you pick up your iPhone and raise it up, it'll wake up the lock screen so you can take a look at your notifications without touching any of the buttons. This bypasses the lightning fast home button, which often flew past your notifications without giving you a chance to read them. Now, in addition to new default wallpaper, there are some significant changes to the interface design. Now, if you swipe all the way to the right, you get to your Spotlight search area, which now has all these widgets. Now, these widget bubbles are much larger and more powerful than they were before, so you can see your favorites for quick accessing your contacts. You can show more to see your Siri app suggestions based on how you use them. You can see your calendar, your weather, in addition to your news feed, so you can see all your news items from the new News app. And of course, we have many more below that. Now, you can edit this. So all I have to do is go to edit, and you can see all the ones I have currently in my feed, but I can go ahead and add additional widgets just by plugging them in here, and I can rearrange them by dragging and dropping them. The notification shade has also been updated here, and you can see the notification badges are much larger than before. You can also 3D press on them to expand them out and tap again to act on that app. So if you want to open up that app, you can do so that way. Now, the thing here is that we've lost our widgets from this panel, which would seem to be an issue, especially on the lock screen. But on the lock screen, all you have to do is swipe to the right, and you get to your widget panel in the same way you would on the home screen. This also works when you're within an app. So if I swipe down to get to my notifications, just swipe across the top here and I can get to my widgets. Now that's not the only place you can find widgets. You'll also find them in the redesigned Control Center. So the Control Center layout looks pretty familiar, just looks a little bit different, but we also have 3D touch on some of these items like the flashlight. So if you want to change the intensity of the flashlight, or if you want to copy the last results calculated in the calculator app, or you also have 3D touch options for the camera app. We also have some 3D touch options for the timer. Now if we swipe to the right, we get to our media controls. So we have quick access to our media controls, and we can select our output source if we want. Swipe again and we get to something new. This is a HomeKit widget. So basically this plugs into the Home app that is now on the home screen. So basically this allows us to quickly access our HomeKit devices. So this is basically home automation. So things like light bulbs, your garage door, your security cameras, all of that. So this is all available from this widget. So you have quick access to features that you may need to use frequently, such as your lights in my case. So I even have my scenes here for adjusting my hue light bulbs, which is kind of nice. And of course, you can also just go to the Home app, which is where you can see all of your devices. So you can see your favorite accessories. Now, in my case, I only have light bulbs. I don't have thermostats that are HomeKit enabled or anything like that. But if you did, you would have those here. I can also see my room. So I can manage this based on my room. So I can manage the scenes, I can manage the accessories and more. And then I have some automation options here as well, which actually works with the Apple TV as a secure hub. 3D touching some of these apps also gains some new features, such as these widgets, which appear under the News app. So if you want to see the latest news item in your News app, you can just 3D touch on it. Same with the weather, so if you want to see your current weather conditions, and you still have all of those quick actions below it. This also works great with the phone dialer, so if you want quick access to your favorite contacts, they're available here. Now, perhaps one of the most celebrated changes with iOS 10 is one that Apple doesn't really talk about, and that's the ability to finally delete apps. So you can finally delete Apple's own apps, some of the system apps like the Watch app, which is great because not everybody has an Apple Watch, so why should every iPhone have the app? You can also delete FaceTime, all of the iLife and iWork apps as well. You can also delete the iTunes Store, Apple Music, and the email app, in addition to the calendar, weather app, videos, and more. What you can't delete, oddly, is the News app, of course, the HealthKit app, the Wallet app, the Clock app, and more. Another welcome change in notifications is the ability to finally clear all. Just 3D touch on the X button and click Clear All Notifications. We also have richer and more interactive notifications, so they can do a lot more than they could before. So when I receive a notification here, I can actually use 3D touch to open it up. So that means I don't have to enter in the app. I don't have to open up the messaging app in order to respond to it or see the content here, such as videos or digital touch items or that sort of thing. So in this case, it's just a photo. So I can go ahead and just reply back, send it off, and then I can go back to what I was doing. So taking a look at the iPad, we have similar design changes here and a few additional ones. So you can see when you rotate the lock screen to landscape, the clock is in the upper left corner. And that's because when you swipe to the right, you can see we now have our widgets. So very similar to the iPhone, but we have two columns of them. You can also see the clock is swiped over to the right to indicate that we're in the widget panel along with the date. We also have our weather information in the upper left corner, which is nice. Now you can edit these by going to edit, but I'll have to unlock my device here. So once I unlock it, you can see that I have my widget panel editor, which allows me to edit both the left and right columns individually, so that's kind of nice. Now if you swipe down, you can see all of your notifications just like you would on an iPhone. If you swipe to the right, again, you have your widget panel. If you swipe up, you get to Control Center, which is a different layout for the iPad this time. So you can see these panels sort of float, and you can see the other panel just off to the right edge here, so you know it's there, and you can swipe between them. And again, the panels are identical to the ones on the iPhone. You just get more information because we have a larger screen. Safari also lets you open up two tabs side by side. So you can do this if you have two tabs open right now and just drag and drop one of those tabs like so. Just drag it to the side here and it expands out to fill half the screen. Now you can't resize this, so it's not like side-by-side apps, but this allows you to scroll through different pages at the same time and you have separate controls at the bottom. Now, one of the biggest new changes here is messaging, so there is a lot going on here. One of the things it does is emojify. So right now I've typed in a bunch of words here that some are associated with emojis. Now, what you can do here is go to the emoji keyboard, and this will start scanning all of the words that you can possibly emojify. And then all you have to do is tap on those words, and if there's multiple emojis for those words, you can go ahead and select them. So basically, you can replace all of these words with emojis. So that's kind of a neat way of searching for your emojis without having to scroll through this entire list. Now I can go ahead and send off this nonsense message just by tapping this arrow icon, but if I tap and hold on it, I can actually animate the message in order to give a little more context to the message, to maybe convey some more emotion or just have some fun with it. So I can do invisible ink, and with invisible ink, this will actually blot out the message. And in order to see the message, the other user will have to tap on it to reveal it. We also have gentle, so again, this animates it to give you this more gentle effect. We also have loud, which kind of shouts the message by shaking it and expanding it. And then we have slam, which basically slams it down on your message thread and shakes everything with it. Now, if you really want to make an impression, you can go with full screen effects. So you can see this birthday effect, which animates over the entire message thread. Swipe again, you can get to this sort of confetti theme. So again, another party theme. Swipe again, you can go with lasers, fireworks, and a shooting star. So let's go with this balloon theme. You can see how it's applied. The new QuickType keyboard can also suggest emojis depending on what you're typing. So I can type in car and I can select car. I can do bus or happy or an emotion or anything like that, and it will automatically add it for me. So it's kind of nice to have this feature instead of, again, having to dig through the emoji keyboard to find it. Now, if you send just the emojis, they're about 3 times larger than standard, but if you send emojis with text, they match the text size. Another new feature is available when you rotate to landscape mode. So you can now sign a message instead of just typing it in. So if I want to go ahead and send that off, this will actually send it to that person as I wrote it. The messaging app also adds some additional new features, such as send receipts for just this specific thread, which is kind of nice. And you now have images or attachments broken down into individual categories. We also get some additional features if we swipe in from the right edge, and that includes digital touch. This is a feature we're familiar with from the Apple Watch. So this allows us to draw doodles in different colors here. So again, just draw whatever you want, and whatever you draw is animated to the receiver. So I can go ahead and let that send off, and you can see exactly how this is sent out and received. Now you can also expand this out, so if you want this full view, and you can open up the camera. So very similar to Snapchat, you can basically take photographs or take video, and then you can annotate the video or photograph here. So I can go ahead and draw on it or do whatever I want and then send it off. Now, if you look along the right side, you basically have this tutorial reminding us of some of the digital touch features we have. So you can do a long press to send this animation here. You can also use 2 fingers here, which sends our heartbeat. So again, that sends your heartbeat. I'm not sure if that's my actual heartbeat or not. I assume it's not. You can also use a 2-finger tap to send kisses. So that's something you can't do on the Apple Watch here. But there you go. And if they don't send a kiss back, you can tap and hold and swipe down to send a broken heart message. The messaging app has also been opened up to third-party apps, and you can access it by going to this app icon here. So you can see all the third-party apps that can contribute content to your messaging thread. So that includes Apple Music, so I can post my recently played track and send it to my contact here. Swipe again, and I can post a GIF from the Images app, or I can swipe again to post one of these classic Mac icons. Now, this is just here for testing or development purposes. I believe this will change once we see the final release, but you can see all the apps that are plugged in here, such as Recents, Apple Music, Images, and the Mac gallery here. So I can go ahead and hold on these to delete the ones I don't want. Now, if you post a URL within messaging, this will actually send it off, and instead of just sending off the link, this will actually give you a preview of that website or video or that image. So I can also 3D touch on it to expand it out and open it up. iOS 10 also adds something called Tap Back. So if you double tap on the previous message, you have these quick responses you can add. So we can do thumbs up, send it off. The Notes app has been updated with collaboration. So similar to Google Docs, you can actually invite other people to make contributions or edits to a specific Notes document. And basically, it works with an iCloud link, so you can send the iCloud link using one of the services that they provide, or you can just copy the link and send it to somebody else. The Music app has also been completely redesigned with iOS 10, and it's a huge and welcome improvement, much less confusing than before. So if you go to your library here, we have a list of your core library features, like your playlist, artists, albums, songs, and even your downloaded music all in one spot. Very nice to have that. And you can see recently added down below that. We can also go to For You, so you can see all of the items that are suggested based on your listening experience. We also can browse by category, so you can see new music. Again, very simple interface. It does take some time to load here. And then you can also see what's at the top of the chart. You can see all the curated playlists as well. So this is great if you're an Apple Music subscriber. And you can also see it by genre. So if you like alternative music, jump right to all the alternative charts. We also have radio, which I actually use a lot. So this is, again, a curated radio station. So you have Beats One here as well, but I often listen to alternative, which I like a lot. This allows me to show you the new player here as well. So if you bring this up, you can see it sort of floats above the Apple Music app, and if you want to swipe it down, you can continue browsing the app. Very similar to the previous iteration, but I really like this implementation better. Now, if you go to the lower right corner, we can act upon this, so we can add it to our library, add it to playlists, create a station based on the song, share the song, or see the lyrics, which is really nice to have, so you can see the lyrics for the song. Now, the interface on the iPad is quite a bit different here, so you can see the tabs are along the bottom with these bold fonts toward the top indicating where you are. But if you go to Library, you actually have to expand out to see your library folders, such as playlists, artists, albums, songs, and downloaded music. But otherwise, recently added is front and center on the iPad. The Maps app has also been updated with a new interface, which looks a lot better. So for example, I can jump to one of these previous locations and navigate right to it. So within the Maps app, if I have a destination already set, I can actually navigate along my route and see some of the traffic scenarios I might run into. The Maps app also allows us to search for points of interest along our route. So if we need to stop for gas, go to a restaurant, or stop for coffee, we can actually select them from here and select from a variety of options along our route. We also get a completely redesigned clock app with this orange and black theme, but one of the new features here is bedtime mode, which allows you to schedule your sleep cycle. In addition to just having your wake-up alarm, this will also tell you when it's time to go to bed. So this will give you a notification, and of course you have to agree to it so it knows that you're actually following this. And that will record your sleep cycle down here and plug that data into the Health app. And of course you can adjust these points like so. We can also go up to our options up here and select specific days in which this is active. You can also set your bedtime reminder schedule, and you can adjust the volume and the wake alarm. The Health app has also been completely redesigned to improve usability. So you can see we have these 4 quadrants up here for activity, mindfulness, nutrition, and sleep. And if you tap on them, we actually get little videos up here that explain how to use this data. Now, unfortunately, those videos are not currently working yet. The Photos app has also been completely redesigned and picks up some features familiar to Google Photos, but it does it locally instead of using the cloud to search your entire photo gallery. So it has features like people search, so it's able to isolate all the people in your gallery and group them together. Right now it's still scanning my library. It's been taking a while, and I imagine this will improve with future betas. But one of the new features they have is memories. And with memories, this sort of intelligently aggregates things into albums. So best of last 3 months, or Perry Township, which is where I visit my sister a lot. or I can see on this day in previous years. So I can see in 2014, I took all these photos of the Galaxy S4 or S5 Active, looks like the S5 Active, and I can scroll through it. You can also see other things like on this day in 2012, 2011, etc. So it's kind of a neat feature to have. The Photos app has also been enhanced with a new search that allows you to search for things or people within your photographs. So more than just searching for album titles or picture titles or locations, this will actually search for items within those photographs. So once it scans your library, you can actually search for things like cars or people's names, and this will basically aggregate them for you so you can see those photographs. So this is somewhat similar to Google Photos, but it happens locally instead of in the cloud. The new photo gallery also works even better on the iPad, so you can see with all the screen real estate, you have even more panels to look at. You can also see if we tap on one of these galleries, they expand out to show you all your photos below it, but you can also play a video, and you'll get a little preview of it toward the top. So basically, it automatically creates this video and adds music. Now, right now, I can't seem to get this to work. It's constantly trying to render it, so hopefully this will be improved by the time it finally launches. Now, in terms of the camera app, the big news is on the iPad. So we now have this zoom in slider on the left side, and they've consolidated the controls on the right side, so it's a little more convenient. Also new with the camera app is live photo stabilization in addition to live photo editing. The Contacts app also picks up a visual refresh with some new iconography in addition to a map link for the addresses. Another welcome improvement is a multilingual keyboard. So I have a German and English keyboard installed right now. So I can type in both languages while using one or the other keyboard. So I have to switch between them. So for example, if I start typing in English, it auto completes in English. But if I start typing in German, you can see that it automatically determines I mean to type Grüße. So let's see if Grüße comes up. And it should give me the right S set, right? There you go. So that's the correct spelling for German, and I didn't have to switch to the German keyboard to get it. There are a few other minor changes. One of them is a new keyboard sound, which is a welcome change. It's a lot softer than before, and I think it's definitely a big improvement, but I'll let you listen to it and you can judge for yourself. The Mail app also allows you to quickly look at your unread messages by tapping an icon in the lower left corner. And for phones equipped with the Taptic engine, such as the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus for 3D Touch, when you mute your phone, you get a different type of feedback this time instead of just a vibration. Alrighty guys, so that's going to do for me in this look at iOS 10. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up to let me know, and stay tuned for future update videos as the beta process rolls out. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video.